Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in on this beautiful fall October day. Today, I want to talk about something real serious, folks. And I'm going to talk about breast cancer. It is October, so we're going to talk about breast cancer awareness. And the reason I wanted to do this because as men, typically we think that that's only a woman thing. But I'm going to introduce my guest today, Mr. Kelvin Woods, aka Willie Dynamite. He is a survivor of breast cancer. So check it out, y'all. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of You Matter, Be Healthy. And today, as part of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it brings me great pleasure to bring longtime friend Kelvin Woods on here.
Yeah, it's definitely a pleasure to be here, man. It's been a long time, man. Me and you've been knowing each other, man, for, man, I don't know, man. We're going on, what, 35 years
I was doing
or
the
something?
math today,
You
man.
know?
It's been like 31 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And I was trying to think of how did we actually meet? Was it at like a party or?
Man, I don't know if it was at a party or if it was at the park playing basketball or what it is, but I guarantee you at some point if we ever got back and was able to dig in deep and figure it out, it has something to do with some music.
Well, all I know is I was trying to play around and rap. And
Yeah.
him and his other brother, they was already rapping. Most Def.
Most Def in the house, original Most Def.
Yes.
Okay, Most Def crew. Well, to make sure we get that straight. We don't want nobody trying to contact us talking about copyrights or something like
A
that.
lot of times when people think about breast cancer, they think that's only a female thing.
Yeah, it's definitely not just a female thing. I mean, it's something. I mean, cancer. Any type of cancer, it doesn't discriminate. It don't discriminate, man. It don't make no difference how old you are, how young you are, what sex, gender, whatever you identify as. I mean, it doesn't discriminate against all that, man. In my situation, I'm a guy, who just happened to discover or find out that, I had breast cancer, So, and of course it's surprising and it's shocking, to myself and to other people, especially because a lot of folks don't, like you said, they don't think that men can actually get breast cancer. You have breast tissue, and every person has that. Breast cancer can affect anybody, man.
So how old were you when you first were diagnosed with this?
I would say I was 48. I believe I was 48 years old, and that's when I was like, so that was a few years back, That's when I was diagnosed with the breast cancer, and just the way I found out about it, how they always talk about, women doing exams, and they always
Right.
talk about people doing exams and self-exams. I wasn't doing a self-exam or anything like that. I just happened to notice like a little bump that it felt like a pebble, like a really small pebble, and it was right underneath like my right nipple area, and I just noticed that it wasn't going away. It wasn't going anywhere. So that's when, after a few months, I kind of talked to my wife. Well, she's my girlfriend at the time, but my wife, and I was just like, hey, I got this, and it just seemed like it's not going away.
Right.
So then that's when I decided to go to the doctor, and have them check it out, and that's how everything came about.
So you didn't procrastinate.
Yes, I did procrastinate. I procrastinated, and the reason why I procrastinated is because I'm a guy, for one thing.
I was just about to say that.
Okay, and guys, for one thing, we don't even associate breast cancer with ourselves. So that's like the last thing that's on my mind is, this could be breast cancer. So I procrastinated because I thought that it could have been like a bug bite or a spider bite or just a scratch or something that didn't heal. So I thought about all these other different things that it could be, as opposed to, what it possibly, may possibly be. So that's the reason why I procrastinated. And plus, as guys, man, we figured, man, look, man, I'll put some duct tape on it. Put some super glue on it. We gonna fix everything, So to me, I wasn't trying to trying to diagnose myself or anything
Right.
like that. But I just didn't think that it could be what it actually ended up being.
Right. Well,
Hmm.
the reason I kind of smiled big because I did much of the same thing when
Yeah,
I was diagnosed with my illness.
yeah,
And my message to you out there, viewers, is if anything is abnormal, go get it
definitely,
checked out, and
definitely.
make sure you maintain those annual checkups, please.
Yeah, you definitely need to be proactive. Be proactive in your health, and that's for everybody. But especially, in this situation that the conversation we're having now, especially with men, and especially for a lot of minority men, but men in general a lot of times have this ego and this bravado and this machoism, where they're just like, I'm in control of everything, and I can take care of everything myself, and I don't need any help or whatever, and you got to put that to the side when it comes to your health. When it comes to your health, be proactive in your health. Like you said, I mean, go get regular checkups. Just whatever, and if something feels unusual or something, or even if something's not unusual, I mean, everybody has access to to going to get a checkup. If you have benefits or not, you can still do that. And being proactive in your health, that's what's gonna allow you to be able to make it through whatever it is you're going through. To be diagnosed with something early, so you still have a chance. To go ahead and live life. At the quality of life that you want to live it.
Right. So besides the little pimple-like bump, I mean, did you have any type of other warning signs?
No, no, I didn't have any. I didn't have anyone inside. I didn't have any pain. I didn't have any other thing. And I think that was. I'm glad you asked that question, because I think that was one of the key things about procrastinating. And I think that's probably a key thing with a lot of illnesses that don't have a lot of symptoms. I mean, because when we associate, if something hurts, we're like, okay, there's something wrong. But if something doesn't hurt, you may not think that there's something, that you have an issue or whatever, and there was no pain, there was nothing else going on within my body that I was aware of that would make me think that I could possibly have breast cancer. There was absolutely nothing going on at all. So, and actually, and I could tell this part as well. When I went to the doctor initially, my initial general practitioner doctor prescribed me a medication as opposed to doing anything else. Prescribed me a medication and said, take this medication for 3 months, and if things don't change within 3 months or whatever, we're gonna take steps from there. So I took the medication for 3 months. Medication is pretty strong. Has lots of side effects, and I took the medication, things didn't change, so I went back to my doctor. They scheduled an appointment with me with a surgeon, and then a surgeon, when I went to go see the surgeon, and the surgeon did an exam of me, the surgeon, and this is how quick the appointment is. I'm going to make this real quick because this is exactly in actual time. This is what happened. Hey, Mr. Woods, how are you doing? Hey, Kelvin, it's nice to meet you. All right. Yeah, go ahead and lift up your shirt so we can go ahead and take a look at that and see what's going on right there. Okay, I lifted up my shirt. Oh, okay. Oh, we got to get that out and do a biopsy on that right now immediately. So I'll just have my assistant come in and make an appointment with you, and we're going to schedule surgery so we can get that removed, and we're going to do a biopsy, and we'll let you know what the options are. It was nice to meet you, Mr. Woods. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Wow.
Literally, I'd say 30 to 45 seconds, and that was, and then I was like, oh, okay. So they scheduled the surgery for me, had the surgery, they removed everything around, they did a biopsy, and they discovered that it was, that's when they discovered that it was cancer, and it was early stage 2 cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stage 2.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so that's what the diagnosis was. Of course, the time between, and this, and anybody else know this that's dealing with any type of illness or anything. Like when you go to the doctor and they're telling you, okay, we're going to wait, you have to wait for test results.
Yeah.
That's like one of the toughest times and toughest parts.
Okay.
Is dealing with, all the what ifs, and your mind has all this time to think about all these crazy thoughts and, what could be and what could possibly happen and all that, But, but it's important to remain positive. It's really important to remain positive. And, and to me, my breast cancer, it didn't spread or anything. So, I did get And I did have it removed. I did have a mastectomy, on one side, so I only got one, you know. I didn't get reconstruction. He was asking me, hey, you want to get reconstruction so it can look like the other one or whatever?
Right.
And I was like, no. No, I'm cool with that. No, because this is my badge of honor.
Battle scar.
Yeah, it's my battle scar. It's just like, no, I'm cool with it the way it is. But it just, like I said, just the whole point is that by being proactive, man, by being proactive in your health, that's what allows people to be able to continue to thrive, man, and that's important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you kind of answered what my next question was, because I was going to ask you, about that, waiting time, because I know what it was like when I was going through mine, the period of unknown. But in mine, at that time, at least I knew it wasn't anything associated with cancer. So typically when we hear that big C word, I mean, what was the thought process?
Oh man, when you hear even a possibility, and the surgeon told me, he's like, hey, it's a possibility this could be, a breast cancer, or it could be all these other things, and just like anybody else, I mean, when people hear that word, a lot of people just associate cancer with death. They think that this person has cancer, they're going to die. What I told myself mentally, I was like, well, if it does end up being breast cancer, I'm going to have to just, fight through it and deal with it and do the best that I can and continue to live, because I can't be selfish, and give up and just be like, oh my gosh, so I got breast cancer, I'm not going to live, I can't enjoy life, I can't thrive, I can't do anything. To me, I'm like, nah, man, I got kids and grandkids and family and, a wife, and I got all this other stuff going on. And it's just like, as far as my DJs, if I got DJ, because I'm thinking about everything.
Right.
I'm just like, oh, okay, so cool. So if they come back and they say, this is breast cancer, I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do to take care of myself, to make sure I can continue to live and to exist. I can honestly tell you, Clark, and we've known each other for years, man. I never at once ever thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to die from,
Right.
I got breast cancer. I'm going to die from breast cancer. Now of course it's a possibility.
Right.
And it still can happen, because just like with any other illness, just because you may be cured, or you may be, it may be submissive now or something. I mean, later on, it can always come back. So that's something that will always be in the back of a person's mind naturally as a person.
Right.
But to me, that's the furthest thing from my mind. The furthest thing from my mind is, oh, I'm gonna succumb to this. To me, it was just another opportunity to reevaluate life and reevaluate how I'm living and reevaluate what's important to me and what's, the things that are priorities to me in my life, and kind of put all that stuff in perspective, and be like, oh, okay, I need to really concentrate on things in life that are really important to me. I was never a person that, that always dealt with a lot of drama. You've been knowing me for a long time. I've never been a mean person, never dealt with a lot of drama, and have never been a dramatic person. So, I didn't have a lot of things in my life where I'm like, oh, I got to cut out a lot of stuff because of whatever. But it just makes you kind of just reprioritize and look at life a little bit different, because every day is precious, and people make money, they make a lot of money, and they weigh the success of their lives on how much money they make or whatever. But your health, that's one of the most precious things that you have.
Right.
If you don't have that, you can't obtain all these other things that you may consider to be a ways to a means of success.
Okay, that brings me to my next question, because I know when we're going through things like that, we start thinking, well, what the reality is, I got to make it no matter what. What was your spirituality like?
Yeah, for me, I've always been a spiritual person. I've always believed there's a power higher than myself. I haven't been a person that's always in my adulthood always attended a particular church or any particular seculars, any direction. I just, I'm a believer in God, and I'm a believer in a higher power within ourselves. And I really leaned on that a lot. I always kind of have. But then when this situation happened with me having breast cancer, it made me kind of just, really kind of lean on that, a little bit more, and one of the things that I told myself, and I have no problem telling folks, is I started to think, so a lot of the DJ work that I do, as a
Right.
part-time DJ, different events, and then some of the other stuff I did back in the old days when I was announcing basketball games or doing with anything that I was doing as part of the Most Def crew, rapping, all the stuff that was in public, I always felt, even back then, I always felt that was just a step to get to somewhere else. There was something else beyond that.
Uh-huh.
That was what my real calling was. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and when I went through the chemotherapy, and I went through all the surgeries, and everything was successful. I was like, my calling is to help people, be more aware and be more proactive in their health. It was like I always knew, and I told my wife this too. It's just like I always knew that the DJing was just, it was just a step. But there was always something more that I was meant to do, and I honestly believe that, that me speaking out and me, talking to other men, especially, and letting them know that this is something that affects, not just women, it affects all of us, and affects men directly as well. It was like, okay, this is the reason why. This is at least one of the main reasons why, God put me on this earth, to be able to, to talk about this and bring awareness.
Right, and that's very interesting and ironic that you say that because that's exactly where I'm at. In all these years, I was involved in the different things. That's how we met
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
And then I think about the careers I had, and something physically would happen to me, and all of a sudden, well, it's not meant to be. I got a higher purpose. But it's awesome that you kind of identified that at an early age. For me, it wasn't until I read this book by Deepak Chopra, the Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, and I saw that section about paying back good karma, and he was talking specifically about if you've lived through something and survived it, that's what your job is. You need to go ahead and share that with other people.
Yes,
And
yes.
so, and it's like as I started doing my thing, I saw you out there doing your thing and stuff, and it's just like, man, it's like it's the energy, man, is there.
Yeah.
Seeing people using their experiences to help somebody else get through it. And that's why I have guests on here like you, is to spread this word.
Yeah, yeah, it's really important to spread the word, and like we were talking about that spirituality, man. I mean, that's what keeps us going, man. That's what keeps us grounded. It keeps us focused. And it allows us to be able to go out and feel comfortable spreading the word and talk about it, because that's a big issue right there. And man, I'm talking to you out there especially. That like I mentioned before, that machoism and that bravado and that ego, that blocks so many things that we could possibly be doing. Because sometimes we don't allow other people to help us.
Right.
We don't allow other people, we hear their thoughts and their opinions. You're like, yeah, whatever, I got it taken care of myself. But no, no, in reality, we need all that. We need all that. We need, we need people to reach out, and to be able to feel comfortable having a conversation, like the type of conversation we're having, right now. A lot of folks don't feel comfortable like that, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with that at all. My purpose, and your purpose as well, now, is to help bring awareness, but not being willing to talk about stuff. That's something that's a barrier that we have to get beyond. We have to get beyond that barrier, because we have to be willing to talk about experiences. We have to be willing to share things that are going on with us or with family, if it's okay with them, or, people that we love, because that's definitely going to help somebody else, who may not have that resource, and it may help somebody else who, they may not listen to what the doctor says, but they'll listen to somebody who they've been knowing for all their life, or they've been listening to somebody that's like, oh, I recognize Clark. I know who Clark is. Oh, Clark is going through this too. Oh man, now I feel comfortable, going to the doctor more, or I feel comfortable talking to my kids or grandkids or other men my age or peers, about what's going on, and we can all sit back and talk about it, and that helps everybody out. That's all part of the awareness.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, one of the biggest things, and I've said this before in my videos, that us men especially, we have to learn to let go of that ego.
There you go.
Like the brother said, there is nothing wrong with talking to somebody. You're only as strong as your support system.
That is the truth.
And I heard him mention that his fiance, or now wife,
Mm-hmm.
was there for him when he was going through his. And, I was fortunate enough to have the same circumstances. And even as I go through this again, my biggest
Yes.
supporter now is my wife.
Yep.
And any time that I allow myself to, go back and think about things in the past that might set me back, she's the one that pulls me up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, that support system is very important, man. I mean, wife, family, in breaking the news of an illness, that could be detrimental to people, breaking that news to your family, your kids and somebody. I mean, that's hard, man. That's hard, and that was a hard thing for me to get through as well. As far as with my personal situation, is me telling my kids and my family, hey, I got breast cancer, But they were with me, you know what I'm saying? They were with me from the beginning, and they always knew that I've always had a positive attitude, and a positive approach to life, So when I told them, hey, man, I got this, man. We got this taken care of. They felt confident.
Right.
They felt confident because I've never been a pessimist. I've never been a really pessimistic person where like, oh my God, woe is me. Life is going to be terrible, And that support system, having those people who care about you and, and think about you and, and asking how you're doing and stuff like that. I mean, that's important too. And also, once again, men, I'm going to continue to emphasize this to men. It's okay to accept that. It's okay to accept that. Don't feel like you have to be like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, thanks, I'm cool, I'm good, whatever. No, it's okay to accept that love and to accept that support. Mm-hmm. That's really important for you to do that, so make sure you keep that in mind.
All right, so do you have social media where people can follow your journey or anything?
I don't have to. I'm not that much of a social media person so far. I mean, that may change.
I see you on the news and over Facebook now.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to this situation, especially during this month of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness, month, I try to get out and do as much stuff as I can to bring awareness. I usually don't go out and seek too much of the attention, but a lot of times because of me being kind of a rare person in this area, because not a lot of men get breast cancer, so I get approached by, I get approached by the media, I get approached by the news, and, different events I've done recently to making strides, against breast cancer, walk. I just did that recently.
Oh, I saw that yesterday.
Yeah, so I did that, and I do the, I'm part of the Susan G. Komen Ambassador Board. So, we do, the Race for the Cure is called More Than Pink Walk now. Uh-huh. So we do that, and we have other events that we do throughout the year. And a lot of that stuff I'll post on my Facebook page as was Willie Dynamite. Willie Dynamite is my Facebook page. You can also find me on Kelvin Woods on Facebook. On Instagram, I think I'm Dynamite W.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen you on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been on. I have to ask my kids. To assist me with all my, Instagram stuff because I'm just not as savvy. I don't spend as much time, doing that, But I can, I try to get out, and so people can see what it is I'm doing. Like I said, I still do DJ part-time. I do a lot of stuff with some cover bands, and I do some other events that you guys have probably seen me at, like the Vanport Jazz Festival and some other stuff. So, so you'll see me out there. And when you do, don't be afraid to give a brother a pound. Don't be afraid to say hi and hello. Don't be afraid to say, hey, how you doing? Because, all that is all part of the support system, and it's going to all help each other.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank our guest,
yes,
Mr. Kelvin Woods,
yes,
a.k.a. Willie Dynamite.
Yeah.
I know the brothers Doc Rock.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you want to enjoy more content like this, please hit that subscribe button. You can also catch me on Facebook, Clark C. Boozadelic, at Clark C. Boozadelic, and also check out #Comedic Fortitude.